Hi guys, I'm back again. I just had lunch, a very late lunch, maybe dinner, probably dinner. And of course, I spilled it all over my top. I'm an incredible klutz. I can't wear white, because I just spill things all over myself. I don't understand. So I put, also, it's a little bit cold in the apartment. So is this like even clean? I don't even know. I just picked this up. It was probably supposed to be in the laundry. And I'm like, I'm freezing. So I'm going to put this on so I can do probably my last video for today. Today was a slow upload day because I had to go out a little bit and deal with some, troubleshoot some issues. So yeah. So here I am. So I wanted to talk about, I hope you can see what I spilled all over myself while I was having lunch. I wanted to talk about President-elect Trump in this particular video and how he just settled a lawsuit with ABC News in New York because apparently one of the ABC News honchos, a man by the name of Stephanopoulos, George Stephanopoulos. Yes, he has a house in the Hamptons, and he used to work with Bill Clinton back in the 90s, I think. And he's been on, well, is he still on Good Morning America, or is he now anchoring some kind of nighttime program? He probably is anchoring a nighttime program now. It's been a long time since I have not lived in America, you guys. And although that could change soon. And so so he apparently had this newscast or whatever you want to call it, where he was discussing the Eugene Carroll case, where President-elect Trump was accused by a woman of assault of the you know what nature years and years ago. I don't know how long, but I'm sure it's at least 20 years ago. And he was found guilty of of this particular charge that she brought against him. And subsequently, he was also found liable for defamation because he apparently, and I want to be very careful about choosing my words, but apparently, after he was found to have assaulted her by the judge and jury, he then went out and said something to the effect of calling her a liar. I mean, and that's just to sort of paraphrase my understanding. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that that's what happened. And so, what happened subsequently was that ABC News had this, I guess, an expose on the whole thing. And George Stephanopoulos, he mischaracterized what President-elect Trump was found guilty of. Or, well, not guilty, but, well, yeah, guilty, liable, whatever the word is you would use in this situation. It's not a criminal case, it's a civil case. So it's not like a conviction, but certainly he was sued, and the jury sided with the plaintiff, Eugene Carroll, and awarded her a staggering amount of money, millions, I believe, right? And so the thing was a question of semantics, though, because what the jury and the judge um, found him liable for was assault, you know, and defamation. But it appears that when George Stephanopoulos was hosting this expose on the whole thing, he characterized it with the big R word, the big R word, and he said that Trump had aped this woman, with the R on there, and of course, apparently, there is a legal difference because I was just watching a YouTube presentation by Don Lemon, and there was this lawyer who was speaking with him, and she seems to be an expert in this particular area of law. And she was talking about how there is a distinction between assault, sexual assault, and and rape in New York. It's not the same thing. There's something called a digital a digital assault, a digital R word, where it's not with the usual apparatus. The usual apparatus that they utilize with this experience, where one could call it what I don't even know. I mean, it's not a funny subject matter, but you know what I mean, right? So the traditional stuff that results in babies, this is the big R word. This is rape, okay? And then there are these other things that they can do, all right, which is really an assault. And so apparently, Trump did not appreciate that George Stephanopoulos was characterizing whatever he was found liable for as the big R word, because it wasn't that, it was assault, you know. And so he sued them, and George and ABC News recently settled with the president elect for 15 million US dollars, you guys. I mean, because basically Trump sued for defamation, and I would imagine that this money he could use to pay off Eugene Carroll, right? Because he owes her something like that, right? So he now has to pay. I mean, the man is so clever. My goodness. Trump is so clever that I don't have words for it. I mean, who's able to do that, right? So he has to pay Eugene Carroll about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't imagine it was much more. And so where's he going to get this money? He gets it from ABC News and George Stephanopoulos, who, because of a semantic um, utterance, where he mischaracterized what the jury actually said, assault, because I mean, a rape is an assault. A rape is an assault, but an assault is not necessarily a rape, at least not in New York, apparently, according to what I just heard. I'm not an expert in this area of the law, as I have said, so I'm not an expert in any area of the law, really. But in this particular area, I really just am not an expert. But it seems that there's a difference, and because George Stephanopoulos mischaracterized it, Trump sued, and he got them to settle with him for $15 million. They're going to pay $15 million towards his presidential library, or some craziness like that. And a lot of the left leading YouTubers like David Pakman, like the Mycelis brothers, like Michael Popok, I mean, they are literally having a cow about this. They're just like, you sold out. There's another guy, Mike, is it Cohen? Something Cohen. He's pretty good too. They're just like, you sold out. You kissed the ring. How could you do this? Trump would have never been able to prove defamation. He certainly has not been reputationally harmed by it because he went on to win the presidency, right? All you had to do was stand your ground and you would have, prevailed, right? But instead you kissed the ring because you wanted to kiss the ring because, they're all sort of tripping over themselves to kiss Trump's ring, all of them, starting with Elon Musk to Mike Zuckerberg to the guy Jeff Bezos to all of these billionaires and quadrillionaires and oligarchs. They all want to be on Trump's good side. They're all going down to Mar-a-Lago. The only person who said no to Mar-a-Lago, you guys, is Xi Jinping, the president of the People's Republic of China, which is very interesting to me. Poor Mike Pence, he can't get an invite to save his life, but I digress. So Trump gets this $15 million from ABC News and from George Stephanopoulos for defamation. They settled with him, and so all the left-leaning pundits are like, I mean, they can't even believe that this has even happened. But Trump is not a normal guy. I keep telling people this, they don't understand. Sometimes, even now, when I'm like really between a rock and a hard place, I say to myself, what would Trump do? Because this man, I don't know how he does this. Like there are no consequences for this man, but there are consequences for everybody else who cross him. Think about that, right? So he gets his settlement. What I don't understand, and not to be graphic and not to be indelicate about it, but I don't understand, you guys, how this all went down. Because, I like to picture things to sort of understand what I'm dealing with. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're on Fifth Ave, right? You're on Fifth Ave. I used to go to Fifth Ave a lot. I used to shop on Fifth Avenue, and back in the day when I was married, and when life made sense, I would go on Fifth Ave. There was Saks Fifth Avenue. There was Bergdorf's. There was Henri Bondel's. There was another one. Um, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. There's Bergdorf, there's Bendel's, there's Saks on Fifth Ave. And so I'm saying to myself, you go shopping. Everybody goes shopping. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You go shopping. Okay. Because I've been shopping many times in my life, right? Not now. My life is very different. I don't have money. I literally don't have money to do anything, you guys. Nothing at all. It's amazing. But back then, when life was life, I go shopping like everybody else, right? I am not understanding, you guys, how you go from purchasing a piece of merchandise, whether it's a sweater, a perfume, I mean, I don't know, a scented soap. I mean, I don't know. How do you go from you take it to you pick it up, you take it to the cashier, you take out your credit card, you pay, right? Okay, sometimes maybe if you're trying things on, which is something I didn't do a lot. I'm not huge on trying things on in public anyway. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's very rare. I have to be really desperate to take my clothes off in public and try anything on because I don't trust anybody, right? So you imagine you go to Henri Bondel's, you go to Bergdorf, you go to Saks, right, on Fifth Ave to make a purchase like normal human beings do. How does it go from that to someone being digitally penetrated by someone else who they don't want to be digitally penetrated by? Was she, I don't understand this. Was she a cashier? Like, was this in a dressing room that she was helping him with a suit? Did he need to go to the men's room and she tried to show him where that was and he grabbed her in a drunken frenzy of, and this is not to be defamatory, I'm just saying, I don't understand how a normal shopping excursion on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. I'm assuming this was on Fifth Ave, right? See, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was somewhere else. Because I don't understand, you guys, how you go from shopping on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan at Bergdorf's, at Saks, at Henry Bendel's. What else is up there? Wasn't there a Brooks Brothers up there on Fifth Ave? It's been such a long time, New York. I love you, New York. I love Paris, but I love New York. Anyway, I don't understand how that goes from a normal shopping trip where you take out your credit card to pay for a piece of merchandise that you're buying to someone getting their part, how does this happen? How does this happen? You're not on a date, so you can't say that it was a date You know what I mean? That happens, right? That happens. Okay, you're in a situation, you had a drink, but you're in a department store, you guys. This is a department store. This woman worked at the store. She was working. This wasn't like she was on duty. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might not understand. Maybe I'm not understanding this because I don't understand. How does that go from a normal transaction of shopping to this married man with a house, a penthouse in Trump Tower, and 5 kids and 3 wives, and all of this going on, and he's doing all these deals, and he's busy, to being in one of these department stores with his finger in places that it just should never have been. I don't understand this. So now you have this $15 million judgment, and you have George Stephanopoulos mischaracterizing this, you guys. I'm going to stop here.